Why is it said that All-Seer Tian Yunzi never imagined even in death that Wang Lin could use the slaughter sword of the gray-robed All-Seer to completely eliminate all the flaws of the celestial slaughter art? At first, All-Seer coveted Wang Lin's life and Death Dao intent. He planned to devour Wang Lin by teaching him the celestial slaughter art. However, Wang Lin had already learned during the ancient demon inheritance that if one cultivated the celestial slaughter art to great completion, it would ultimately result in death and Dao dissipation. From that moment on, Wang Lin no longer trusted All-Seer and began searching for ways to resolve the slaughter chi within his body. After Wang Lin successfully suppressed the primordial thunder dragon and fused it into his primordial spirit, he released Du Jian and forced him to reveal the secrets he knew about All-Seer. It turned out that the cultivation method practiced by Du Jian allowed him to absorb the spiritual power of rare beasts. By chance, he once saw within a beast's memory the scene of Sun Yun being devoured by the gray-robed All-Seer. Hearing this, Wang Lin became even more convinced that the deduction from the ancient demon inheritance was not an illusion. However, during this period, Wang Lin had used the celestial slaughter art many times to resolve crises. He knew that this divine ability was extremely powerful. To abandon it completely would be a great pity. Thus, Wang Lin refined Du Jian into an immortal guard puppet, then extracted 1 million strands of slaughter chi and infused them into it. In this way, he gained a powerful fighter while still retaining the terrifying power of the celestial slaughter art. However, when Wang Lin previously cultivated the celestial slaughter art in the Crimson Prison, a heart of slaughter had already formed within his body. Even after transferring the million strands of slaughter chi into the puppet, the hidden heart of slaughter remained a massive hidden danger. Therefore, Wang Lin transformed the heart of slaughter into countless red threads and used the powerful suction of this place to completely dissolve it. When All-Seer entered the land of monster spirits and saw Wang Lin, he was utterly shocked. He could not detect any trace of the celestial slaughter art within Wang Lin's body. It was precisely because of this unexpected change that the usually flawless calculations of All-Seer finally revealed a slight flaw. After the Immortal Emperor's cave abode opened, Wang Lin and All-Seer had their first true confrontation. However, due to the obstruction of the celestial cloud, Dao couple All-Seer was unable to act personally. Instead, he summoned 4 avatars to surround and kill Wang Lin. Even so, for Wang Lin, who was only at the Kuei realm, this was still a catastrophic disaster. At the critical moment, Wang Lin decisively used a self-created divine ability called Residual Night. This technique contained the mysterious primordial power, and in an instant, it annihilated 3 of All-Seer's avatars. Only the gray-robed All-Seer remained filled with terror. After all, he already possessed independent consciousness. If he did not fight with everything he had, he would certainly perish beneath Wang Lin's residual night. Immediately, the gray-robed All-Seer summoned a blood sword and slashed fiercely toward the sun at the center of residual night. This blood sword was the source of all his slaughter chi, containing an unimaginably terrifying power. Sure enough, in the next moment, the gray-robed All-Seer split open residual night with the blood sword and directly pierced Wang Lin's chest. If Wang Lin had not possessed the ancient god body, the slaughter chi contained within that sword would have killed him instantly. Wang Lin then revealed a look of madness. In an instant, he detonated the sun within residual night. A massive shockwave containing primordial power erupted outward with Wang Lin at its center. Under this impact, the gray-robed All-Seer continuously dissipated until only a single strand of remnant thought returned to the main body of All-Seer. Losing 3 avatars in succession was an extremely rare blow for All-Seer 1. He had not suffered in countless years. It even left him injured, yet the damage to his body and primordial spirit was insignificant compared to something else. Now All-Seer had miscalculated regarding Wang Lin multiple times. Cracks had begun to appear in his dual heart. This meant that his hope of advancing to the realm of a third-step Great Venerable became increasingly uncertain. Furious beyond measure, All-Seer decided to go all out to kill Wang Lin, leaving him absolutely no chance of survival. However, at the critical moment, the Vermilion Bird Saint Emperor arrived with the ancient sacred artifact of the Four Saints sect to rescue him. This forced All-Seer to retreat and successfully saved Wang Lin. Later, while recuperating within the Vermilion Bird Sacred Sect, Wang Lin quietly began a process that would fundamentally change his future cultivation. Deep in seclusion, he took out the slaughter sword of the gray-robed All-Seer, a weapon born from countless strands of terrifying slaughter chi. This sword was not merely a weapon, it was the very source and embodiment of the gray-robed All-Seer's killing intent. For ordinary cultivators, refining such a sword would be no different from courting death. The boundless slaughter. Chi within it could easily corrode the mind, shatter the Tao heart, and drag one into endless madness. Yet Wang Lin was no ordinary cultivator. With his ancient god body, his indomitable will, and the insights he had gained through countless life and death struggles, he slowly refined the sword, strand by strand until its terrifying power became part of his own cultivation. From that moment forward, everything changed. By fully refining the slaughter sword, Wang Lin had finally removed the greatest hidden danger within the celestial slaughter art. What once carried the fatal flaw of death and Tao dissipation had now become a perfectly controlled power within his grasp. Even if his slaughter chi reached the terrifying threshold of 1 million strands, the catastrophic backlash that once awaited him would never come. In other words, Wang Lin had done the impossible. He had turned a cultivation technique designed to enslave him into a weapon entirely under his own control. And this was something All-Seer had never foreseen. Before encountering Wang Lin, All-Seer Tian Yunzi was a figure whose reputation was built upon flawless calculation. For countless years, every scheme he devised unfolded exactly as predicted. Every cultivator he targeted eventually fell into the path he had laid out. To the cultivators of the Alliance Star Domain, he was someone who truly deserved the title of All-Seer, a man who left no variable unaccounted for. This absolute confidence was precisely why he believed devouring Wang Lin was inevitable. In All-Seer's grand design, Wang Lin was nothing more than the final piece needed to perfect his plan. Once Wang Lin's life and death Tao intent matured, and the celestial slaughter art reached completion, All-Seer would simply harvest everything and step forward into the legendary realm of a third step Great Venerable. It was a plan so perfect that failure seemed impossible. Yet fate had other ideas. Ever since the unforeseen upheaval within the land of monster spirits, the once flawless calculations of All-Seer began to crumble. The variables he had ignored, Wang Lin's defiance, his relentless will, and his terrifying adaptability had slowly grown into forces beyond control. One miscalculation turned into two turned into many. The man who once saw through the heavens now found himself repeatedly outmaneuvered by a single cultivator. Cracks began to form in All-Seer's Tao heart, something that had never happened in countless years, and the truth gradually became unavoidable. The prey he once believed he could easily manipulate had already broken free of the chessboard. From that moment onward, Wang Lin was no longer a pawn in All-Seer's scheme. Trying to suppress him, trying to control him, trying to devour him, all of it had become nothing more than an impossible dream.